Here's the thing. At this point, I feel like it's transparently clear that I'm someone who has a lot of like nerdy interests. The Doctor Who Season 5 soundtrack. I play a lot of Animal Crossing. You could probably say I like Mary Jane Watson. Famous Dutch post-impressionist painter Vincent van Gogh. And true to form, one of those interests includes Mario Kart. This is my main and kart combo in 8 Deluxe, by the way. You know, in case you couldn't already tell, I was bisexual just from looking at me. And since the Switch 2 first look trailer included like a mini teaser for the next Mario Kart, and, like Mario Kart is currently in like the zeitgeist, I wanted to take this opportunity to share what I think would be my perfect and ideal Mario Kart roster lineup. Here we go! Full disclaimer, these are not predictions. These are just what I personally would like to see happen. So like obviously Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Wario, Donkey Kong, Toad. These ones are like practically a given at this point. Daisy, Waluigi, Bowser Jr. are basically considered givens. We've gotten the obvious ones out of the way. Pauline has spent like the last 5 years as like essentially as like a roster mainstay. I think she first started being added to roster lineups with Mario Golf, but I could be wrong. This is just from off the top of my head. I think she should remain that way. I think she should continue to be part of rosters. I like variety in my female character lineups. She's like the only human character that isn't a princess, and she's like the oldest female character in the entire Mario franchise. She's one of the oldest characters in general. She deserves it. Birdo, just because I think it's nice to include Birdo on any roster. Koopa Trooper doesn't need really justification. I'm sure there's someone who is like hardcore into Koopa Trooper. I just think that Koopa Trooper should always be there for those people. Toadette, I think, should be a mainstay character to any roster that includes characters outside of the original 8. And like she first debuted in Double Dash, so she's like a Mario Kart original character. If anything, she deserves to be there more than most. Hot take, I think the Koopalings should be included in the roster, but I think they should just be considered like alt costumes of one another, like similar how to like the deluxe roster currently does like the Yoshis. Like there is no reason for all of those fucking Koopalings to have their own individual slot and stats. No one cares enough. They should just be alt costumes of one another. I also think the baby character should be the same way. Like there should just be one baby character actually physically on the menu, and then the other ones are just hidden behind the drop down menu. And the baby characters should only be limited to ones that actually were in Yoshi's Island. Like who the fuck is baby Rosalina? That doesn't even make sense. Both Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, also Funky Kong. I feel like I don't have to explain myself there. Kamek, King Boo, but specifically as he appears in Luigi's Mansion, I find the concept of racing as Petey Piranha with his big ass head where you can't see like half the screen inherently really funny. So I just think he should be included to any roster on that principle. I feel like EGAD at this point definitely deserves like a trial run on like a roster. I personally think that a Mario Kart roster should encapsulate like all of Mario and its spin-offs. So therefore each game should get like at least a handful of characters represented. There are like a few characters that I think could be fun inclusions, but if like they weren't included, I like wouldn't really care that much. I'm sure some people are like shooters for some of these, but I don't care enough. Dry Bones, King Bomb, Shy Guy. When you're like racing as the yellow Shy Guy in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, legitimately, because you can only see the back of his head, it kind of looks like you're playing as a minion, and that's really funny to me. I think Toadsworth could be a fun inclusion. We don't get enough Toadsworth and stuff. Also potentially maybe some like WarioWare picks, just because like WarioWare gets like zero representation in the greater Mario canon. A cool inclusion that I thought could be cool, especially if we're going into like the territory of trying to like represent all of the spin-offs. Also could be like Paper Mario, like have Paper Mario as like his own character. Like he looks like he's 2D and made out of paper, and he's like interacting with a 3D environment, like kind of similar to the way they did like Donkey Kong Jr. in Mario Kart Tour. I just think that would be really fun and cool. You'll notice that I didn't put Lakitu on the roster, mostly just because I think it's weird that he's like the ref, and I'm assuming that's what he's supposed to be. I don't know motorsports or like sports in general. He's the ref, but he's also racing. It freaks me out. I don't like it. Anyway, here's my final roster.